Today, I'll take you through some of the most mysterious and terrifying entities within the SCP Foundation. Have you ever considered that a simple statue could be a lethal threat? Meet SCP-173, one of the most iconic creatures in the Foundation, often nicknamed the Sculpture or referred to affectionately by the community as the Peanut. Was first discovered at Site-19 after an investigation team uncovered a series of corpses with fractured necks inside an abandoned building. Externally, SCP-173 resembles a concrete humanoid statue standing about 2 meters tall, covered in splatters of red and brown paint that mimic dried blood. It remains completely motionless while being observed. However, the moment you blink or look away, it can manifest directly behind you. The mechanism behind SCP-173 is remarkably straightforward. It only moves when it is not being directly viewed. No one knows exactly how it travels, as cameras and sensors fail to capture the movement. The only evidence left behind after its containment breaches is the snapped necks of its victims. Researchers once simulated an experiment in a sealed room with 3 supervisors, tasked with alternating their blinks to ensure that at least one pair of eyes was always locked on the entity. A minor lapse, a blink lasting just 0.1 seconds, was enough for SCP-173 to end the lives of the test personnel. Despite its lethality, SCP-173 can be contained with proper protocols. Containment procedures mandate that at least 3 people must be present when entering the chamber, maintaining constant visual contact. Blinking or looking away simultaneously is prohibited. The room must be secured with double-locked doors and monitored by 24/7 surveillance. Any power failure is treated as a code red emergency. There is a well-known incident regarding a total blackout at Site-19. During a facility-wide power outage, all surveillance cameras covering SCP-173 were offline for 2 seconds. When power was restored, the chamber was empty. 5 security personnel on duty disappeared without a trace. After a 4-hour search, SCP-173 was discovered in a hallway 200 meters away, with drag marks on the walls suggesting someone had desperately tried to crawl away. Some researchers hypothesize that SCP-173 doesn't move at all, but rather compresses the time around it, effectively teleporting. Others believe it is being controlled by an unseen entity, or that it is merely a shell for something else hiding within our reality. Next is SCP-096, also known as the Shy Guy. While classified as a dangerous entity, it can be managed if protocols are followed strictly. SCP-096 is tall, emaciated, and pale with a skeletal frame. When not provoked, it typically sits curled in a corner, sobbing or murmuring quietly. What makes SCP-096 so dangerous is that if anyone views its face, even through a photograph or video, it enters a frenzy. It begins to shriek and wail before rushing to locate and neutralize the individual who saw it. No matter where they are on Earth, it will eventually find and brutally tear the victim apart, after which it returns to a quiet, docile state. Terrifyingly, SCP-096 can reach speeds of several hundred kilometers per hour and possesses immense durability against gunfire, fire, and even explosives. Almost nothing can deter it once it is enraged. Then there is SCP-049, the Plague Doctor, one of the most tragic and frightening figures in the Foundation. SCP-049 appears to be a medieval physician, standing about 9 meters tall, wearing a long black robe and a white beak mask. Curiously, the clothing and mask appear to be fused with its body, effectively becoming its skin. No one knows what lies beneath the mask. We only know that SCP-049 possesses human-level intellect, reason, and speech. Unlike many other SCPs, it is calm, intelligent, and exceptionally polite, speaking fluent English, French, and various archaic languages. When meeting Foundation staff, it is often friendly, bowing, and introducing itself by saying, "I am a doctor. I only wish to cure the sickness." However, the Foundation has never identified what this sickness actually is. According to SCP-049, everyone is infected with a plague that transcends bacteria or viruses. It is a corruption of the soul. It believes it was born to heal this malady. When SCP-049 deems someone infected, it touches them lightly. Within a second, the victim expires, leaving no outward signs of trauma. No wounds, no blood, just a lifeless shell. SCP-049 then begins surgery, drawing ancient medical instruments from its robes. It works with the meticulous care of a real surgeon. Within hours, the body reanimates, but it has lost all memory and soul, attacking anything nearby. The Foundation classifies these reanimated subjects as SCP-049-2. When asked why it does this, SCP-049 merely replies that the body has been cured, but the mind requires more time. During a containment breach at Site-19, SCP-049 escaped its cell and neutralized 7 security guards with a single touch. When the armed response team arrived, they found it dissecting the deceased staff, hands stained with blood, calmly stating, "The sickness is spreading. I must cure them immediately." After being recontained, SCP-049 showed no anger. Instead, it offered a sincere apology. "I know they are afraid, but I cannot stop. This sickness is killing the entire world." Since then, the Foundation has strictly prohibited direct contact. All interviews are conducted through 5 cm thick glass, guarded by at least 2 armed security teams. Some researchers believe it hails from the Middle Ages, a doctor who witnessed millions die and lost his sanity when he couldn't save them. SCP-049 remains in containment, sitting on a metal chair, its voice resonating through the mask. "You call me a monster, but I am merely doing what any doctor must do, healing this world." SCP-087 appears as a concrete spiral staircase hidden behind a mysterious metal door in an abandoned university lecture hall. The stairs consist of 13 steps per flight, turning 90 degrees at each landing. There is no lighting. No matter how powerful a flashlight you use, the beam is swallowed by the darkness after about 1.5 meters. Below lies an infinite abyss. Those who descend into SCP-087 describe hearing the whimpering of a child emanating from the depths. The sound seems near yet incredibly far, as if the child is just a few flights away. But no matter how far one descends, the source remains elusive. Many have attempted to find it, but none have returned. In some records, cameras have caught a glimpse of a pale, featureless face, no eyes, no nose, no mouth, known as SCP-087-1. It often appears suddenly at close range, inducing extreme panic, hyperventilation, and madness in the observer. The Foundation has conducted 4 recorded explorations, sending D-Class personnel down with flashlights, cameras, and radios. All reported hearing footsteps behind them, yet saw no one. In the final log, the sound of heavy breathing and desperate screaming is heard before the signal cuts out completely. No one was recovered. Only a camera was left behind, with the final footage ending at the 478th floor, capturing the child's crying fading away. SCP-087 remains sealed, and guards stationed outside often report hearing knocking and weak, pleading voices from within, even when no one is there. SCP-002, the living room, is a frightening, anomalous entity shaped like a massive mass of flesh. Externally, it resembles a giant blob of organic tissue, complete with blood vessels and biological structures, covering about 70 square meters, featuring a submarine-style metal door leading inside. The interior is furnished like a modern living room, with chairs, tables, lamps, carpets, and a television. All these furnishings are constructed from human tissue, skin, bone, hair, and muscle, so realistic that they are indistinguishable from normal furniture without lab testing. The danger of SCP-002 is that if an unsupervised individual enters, they vanish, and the room subsequently manifests a new piece of furniture. It seemingly digests people, incorporating them into its decor. SCP-002 is currently kept in a secure Foundation base, with no one permitted inside without special clearance. Finally, we have SCP-682, the hard-to-destroy reptile. It is arguably one of the most dangerous, hated, and terrifying entities in the SCP universe. Classified as Keter, this giant reptilian creature is over 10 meters long and 3 meters tall. Its body is covered in claws and sharp teeth, and it constantly mutates to adapt to any threat. Its hallmark is its extreme intelligence. SCP-682 possesses human-level intellect or higher, and harbors an intense hatred for all life. It is nearly impossible to kill. The Foundation has attempted to terminate it using powerful acids, explosives, nuclear weapons, and even by pitting it against other SCPs like 173, 096, and 999. Yet SCP-682 survives or regenerates after every encounter, growing stronger each time. It has successfully neutralized hundreds of personnel and devastated multiple SCP sites. In its battles with SCP-173, its head was damaged, but both survived. Against SCP-096, they fought viciously, leaving both severely injured but neither deceased. Even after immersion in high-potency acid, it regenerates faster than before. The only time it was momentarily neutralized was when it encountered SCP-999. SCP-999, the Tickle Monster, is one of the most adorable, friendly, and positive entities in the SCP universe, serving as a stark contrast to the horrific ones mentioned. Classified as safe, it is a bright orange, jelly-like mass of translucent, viscous substance. It can change shape and is about the size of a small dog, smelling of candy and fruit. SCP-999 behaves like a happy puppy, eager to play and cuddle. When a person interacts with SCP-999, their mood immediately shifts to one of extreme joy and positivity, even for those suffering from severe depression, anger, or pain. Its special ability is to neutralize negative emotions through physical contact. Regarding its interaction with SCP-682, the monster was initially enraged, but after only a few minutes of contact with SCP-999, it began to laugh and roll around. Although it eventually returned to its normal state, this proves that SCP-999 can soothe even the most brutal creatures. There is an interesting theory that SCP-999 could be the ultimate weapon should the world face an apocalypse. SCP-106, or the Old Man, is another of the most terrifying entities. It is not only dangerous but cruel and difficult to contain, classified as Keter. It appears as an elderly man in a state of advanced decomposition, with black, viscous skin that secretes a corrosive liquid. SCP-106 can phase through solid objects like walls and floors without needing doors, leaving a trail of black, corrosive slime wherever it goes. It typically abducts victims into its own pocket dimension, a dark, twisted realm where they are subjected to horrific psychological and physical torture before being killed or released in a shattered state. It hunts not out of hunger, but for the pleasure of cruelty. Containment is incredibly difficult, as it can vanish and reappear unpredictably, often causing mass casualties upon escape. Lastly, SCP-035, the possessive mask, is another Keter-class danger. It appears as a Greek drama mask with a half-laughing, half-crying expression as if mocking human suffering. A viscous black liquid leaks from its surface, capable of corroding metal, concrete, and even reinforced glass. More terrifying is the voice from within. When a person wears SCP-035, their brain function ceases within seconds. While the body remains alive, the soul is replaced. SCP-035 takes control, manipulating the corpse like a puppet to speak, move, and act human, even as the body decays. Worse, it doesn't need to be worn to cause harm. Simply staying near it for too long induces feelings of sadness, guilt, and despair, ultimately driving people to take their own lives. SCP-035 is highly intelligent, charming, and cunning, communicating in a warm, gentlemanly tone. Do you ever feel lonely? I understand how you feel. In the first few minutes, listeners feel comforted, believing they are talking to a tragic soul. But soon, SCP-035 words warp their minds, turning sympathy into an urge. The urge to put on the mask, and then nothing else remains. Those are some of the most famous creatures in the SCP Foundation community. This video was compiled from various sources, so if there are any errors or if you have suggestions, please feel free to comment below. I am not a chill guy. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Thank you all. Yeah.